Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Ade Gman is now up. I think it's the last one of the year. Probably is actually. I've got so much traveling between now and the end of the year. So yeah, please go and give it a watch if you haven't already done so. As always, I'll put the link up here somewhere. Thank you so much for all the support you've shown that show in the last 12 months. We have been doing it for 1 whole year. Big plans for me and G-Man in 2026. And hopefully you guys will like what we've got coming. Also, a new show that I started last week called The Presenters. My first guest was Dev Sani. That is up as well. The plan with that show is just to speak to people within boxing, basically. Presenters within boxing. And then we might branch out to presenters in other sports. So, I don't know, Jamie Ward, Kate Abdo, Laura Woods, Becky Ives, Josh Denzel, you know, people like that. So, yeah, I thought it would be good to know their stories and how they got involved with boxing, their likes, their hates, everything. Even people like David Diamante, Thomas Triber. So not necessarily just sort of presenters that you see at the start of the show, ring announcers. So, yeah, anyway, we'll try and see where that goes to. But, yeah, the first episode is up. Again, please go and give that a watch as well if you can. All right, let's have a look and see what there is to talk about before we talk about the big man, Anthony Joshua, and his fight with Jake Paul, which is 1 week away. Doesn't quite feel like it, does it? But it is 1 week away. Al Siesta says fight between Kubrat Pulev and Murat Gassiev is humongous. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. Gassiev hasn't been busy enough. Like, I don't know how many fights Usyk has had since that fight against Gassiev, the World Boxing Super Series final. Remember that fight in Russia where Usyk just put on a clinic? But I can guarantee you that Usyk's had at least double, if not treble, the fights that Gassiev has had. I thought Gassiev would have been quite a force in the heavyweight division by now, and it just hasn't happened. Pulev is still dangerous, although must be approaching 50. He's still dangerous. He's a big lump. Gassiev is big, but not as big as Pulev. I think what it means by a humongous fight is obviously the IBA trying to make a play in professional boxing. They do what they do in amateur boxing, and they want to be known as a real big force in professional boxing. You guys would have seen the Wilder Chisora face-off. That's a fight that could happen under the IBA. There are so many other fights as well. So look, we'll see what happens with the IBA next year. In that article, El Siesta also spoke about the relationship between the IBA and Turkey and the IBA and the British Boxing Board of Control and Frank Warren. So I think they're just trying to sort of throw their weight or their money into the sport of boxing, which, I mean, that is what it is, isn't it? I mean, I guess that what you don't want boxing to be is a monopoly. You want there to be competition. You want fighters to be able to say, no, I'm not taking that, I'm going to take that. And that means, I think, the sport grows. I think once one entity has control of boxing, I don't think it grows. I think initially everyone gets excited, but I don't think it grows. I think once there's a few players in it, which is why I've always said, I was disappointed when Sky Sports sort of cashed out of boxing. I was disappointed when HBO and Showtime cashed out of boxing. I think competition's good. I think it's very, very good. But we'll see what the IBA do. All right, should we talk about AJ before we look at other stories? Let's do it. I've had a little change of heart or change of mind when it comes to this fight. Look, obviously, I'm still 100% behind the big man, Anthony Joshua. I think he gets the job done, and I think he gets the job done well. That pleases everybody, because if he doesn't, my God, the knives will be out. But I was speaking to Vidal Riley the other day. Vidal came into the TalkSport studios, and it's always good to hear a boxer give their viewpoint on it. Because my viewpoint's always been that AJ has to go over there and knock him out in the first round for it to be a success. Anything past the first round's kind of damaging to where AJ is. And Vidal was like, that ain't probably going to happen. That fighters that have that kind of mindset, I just need to knock him out, they're the ones that don't get the knockouts, because they're just almost telegraphing what they're doing. They're rushing their work. Once you kind of just settle into a fight, then the opportunities kind of arise, openings come. Because he's gone into fights, this is what Vidal was saying, thinking I need to knock this guy out. And then those are the fights that go the distance and it's like, shit, bad performance. Once you just kind of, have a look, which AJ will do, see what traps you can set, see what Jake Paul does, and AJ reads it, and that will probably come after the first round. There's always that phrase that's thrown around in boxing, and to be fair, it's thrown around when the very best take on the very best, that kind of feel-out round, that downloading of information. That should come very quick for AJ, but I now believe that will come in the second or third round. I don't think it's a case of AJ just does what I thought he was going to do, which is walk over, almost like Jake's just going to stand there and just land a shot and it's over. I don't think that's going to happen. And it might not happen because, look, ultimately, AJ knows what's at risk here. Like, doesn't even bear thinking, but we are looking at what could be the biggest upset in sports history. And I mean, I'd love people to sort of chuck out some others. If Jake Paul were to somehow chin AJ, like if Jake Paul were to somehow land the real punch from the gods. I mean, Carl Froch spoke about the punch from the gods against George Groves. No. This will be the punch from the gods. So even AJ has got to kind of maybe just have a little look. Just have a little look. And that might be in the first round. And then the second round, for me, it's done. It's done in the second round. So I'm going to give AJ another round. I'm not going to give him 3 or 4. I'll give him 2. I'll give a feel-out round. Have a look at Jake Paul. See what he's doing. Time him. And then say, okay, if he makes that same mistake again in the second round, it's done. And that's what Ngannou did a lot. I think Ngannou tried to switch on AJ. I think he tried to switch to southpaw. And I'm like, AJ's just fucking fought the best southpaw there probably ever was. Like, what are you doing? So if Jake makes those kind of mistakes, I think AJ is experienced enough to capitalize on them early. And then I think he stops him. I feel like the corner might stop it. Or it might be a barrage of punches as opposed to a one-punch KO walkaway like he did against Ngannou. But I'm gonna give AJ another 3 minutes on top. AJ, you hearing this? I'm not gonna put pressure on you if you don't get it done in the first round, but you better get it done in the second round. And then we move on to what AJ's got to do in February, and then potentially what he's gonna do against Fury in September. I saw some bag work from Jake Paul. I think that's been doing the rounds. Him sort of just hitting the heavy bag, and it's weird how that's been viewed so differently by people. The hardcore boxing heads are like, he's not moving his head. And there's some others that are like, this is some good bag work. And I'm definitely in that camp. This is some good bag work. Like, obviously I've covered the Misfit scene, as you guys know. And that's where he's kind of come from, right? That YouTube scene. I'm looking at that thinking, that's good bag work. And yes, there might be some fundamentals that look a bit off kilter. Of course they're going to. This guy's been boxing 5 years, right? But I think he looks really good. I think he looks sharp. And I like the fact he's dedicated himself to boxing. I mean, say what you want. I mean, this guy could make quite a lot of money doing other things. Like, he's taken the tough road here. And he certainly could do a number of other things other than fight AJ. There are a number of other opponents that he could fight, not named Anthony Joshua, that still would get people tuning into his shows on Netflix. So, nothing but respect for Jake Paul to get in the ring with fucking Anthony Joshua. I think it's crazy. Honestly, I think it's crazy. But this guy is going for the fucking home run of all home runs. Nick Ball, Brandon Figueroa set for February the 7th in Liverpool. Me and G-Man did our top 10 pound for pound UK fighters. And you guys should watch the video when it comes out, but I'll tell you now, I had Nick Ball as number 1, and it's for things like this. Nick Ball, when he had that fight against Ray Vargas in Saudi, which was a draw, which really he won, and then the next fight was against Raymond Ford. He's had, I'm going to say this is his 6th fight in less than 2 years. Busy, active, world-level fighters. Figueroa's a world-level fighter. Figueroa's is mandatory, and it's not like, okay, no, we'll try and go another route. It's a tough fight, this one. But he's always busy. And what I like about him even more is that it's not like he's getting first-round knockouts or even second or third. This guy's going the distance all the time, which takes it out on you. I mean, he fights at 100 miles per hour, so you know what you're getting. And normally you think, okay, I've gone 10 rounds twice a year, maybe. I'll do that. This guy's doing it 4 times in 14 months. It is so commendable. That's kind of why I had They've asked to vote. I would have voted Inoue over Crawford, not because Crawford's achievement isn't crazy. Inoue's about to have his full fight in 12 months. That needs to be looked at and applauded. And Nick Bull's in that same camp of having, just staying active all the time. And I respect it. I respect it a lot. Diego Pacheco is fighting this week, right? Against Kevin Lee Sajo. I like that fight. I think it's a good fight. I think Pacheco has to be close to a world title fight. I honestly would love to see. I know Hamza Shiraz looks like he's going to fight Christian Mbili now for the vacated or stripped WBC super middleweight title. The winner of that, I wouldn't mind seeing take on the winner of this. Do you know what I mean? I think they're all kind of closely matched, if I'm honest with you. And I think Frank would 100% put Hamza Shiraz in with Pacheco. Would Eddie do the same? I think that's a great fight on a 5 versus 5 if they both come through their respective fights, which won't be easy. Sky Nicholson on that card as well. Joe Cordina on that card. Good to see Joe back. That one defeat has really damaged Joe, hasn't it? I still think it's a great fight. In terms of his career, Joe, prior to that Kakache fight was, it felt like he was on a fucking steam train. He felt like he was unstoppable and that has just derailed that completely. Hopefully he comes through this one and then we get a good fight. I feel like they've been talking about Zelfa Barrett for a while. Maybe that's a fight that could sort of maybe be a chief support in the UK, maybe a headline. But hopefully Joe gets the victory. Teofimo Lopez embraces underdog role in Shakur Stevenson clash. Maybe the bookies have him as an underdog. I think boxing heads almost have it as a very, very tough 50-50 fight. I love Tio. I think Tio is fantastic. I think he's already playing mental warfare with Shakur Stevenson. I don't know if that means anything come fight night, but I've always felt like Tio sometimes plays the I don't know what I'm doing role, but I think there's always an underlying thing with Tio. So I think he's trying to get under Shakur's skin. And we all know when Tio's back's against the wall, he steps up. Josh Taylor stepped up. Vasily Lomachenko stepped up. Even to an extent, there's Arnold Barboza. Arnold Barboza having a good couple of fights. Ramirez, Jack Cattrall. He made that look easy work. Easy work. I really think this is a 50-50 fight. I like Tio a lot. I think Shakur's very special. If Shakur wins this, then we are looking at a guy that is without doubt pound for pound king soon, considering the two top dogs are 38 and 39 respectively, or 40 respectively, Usyk. So, yeah, man, we'll see. Jake Paul, I know I can pick Anthony Joshua apart. I'm about to win. Jesus Christ. I should have been over there, people. I should have been over there. Is what it is. Is what it is. Clarissa Shields versus Franchon Cruz DAZN rematch ready for February. Okay. Eddie Hearn expects Matchroom to extend DAZN broadcast deal. Yeah, I mean, what else would you do? Would you go back to Sky? Imagine that. Imagine that happens. Wow. Imagine if that were to happen. Imagine that. That would be crazy. Be crazy. That, I mean, Jesus Christ, but I can't see that happening. But yeah, the deal runs out next year, and I expect Eddie to do it. And the reason, I guess the biggest reason as well, is America. Obviously, DAZN app, Sky, not in America. You're going to be with DAZN just because Eddie's got so much, so many fights and so many events, not just America, but all over the world now. All over the world. So, I mean, he's got this Ghana one coming up, right? So, look, yeah, I expect Eddie to re-up with DAZN. And he's got some good cards coming up, Eddie, as well. Both of them have got good cards at Queensbury and Matchroom. So, hopefully, it's a good year for boxing fans. All right, guys, girls, we are done. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.